The cases that I've chosen are two cases both regarding inappropriate student-staff relationships. The reason that I chose these cases was because that every time that I read a case such as this, it makes me wonder what exactly was happening between both the student and the teacher, since they do not allude to details in the case. I also think that it is extremely important to be well aware of the boundaries that teachers must have with students in order to maintain a safe and appropriate relationship. I also think that it is interesting to see how much time has passed before the case was actually taken to court. It makes me wonder what happened or who might have found out. Both teachers in these cases crossed the line and misused their status and position as a teacher. I wanted to discover whether it appeared that both male and female teachers are treated similarly in the courts, and whether the outcomes were different depending on the school board of employment. These cases are extremely significant to me as an Ontario teacher, not because I plan on crossing the line with a student once I become employed. I think that it is necessary to be very comfortable knowing the law and the rights you have as a teacher. Teachers are in a position of power towards their students, and that creates a situation that is ripe for sexual abuse. To children, teachers are authority figures who have a significant degree of influence in their lives. They not only assign their grades, but report their behavior to their parents. Students thus feel pressured to comply with a teacher's demand for fear of negative repercussions from their parents. For younger students, they may also fear getting in trouble if they don't comply with their teacher's wishes. Taking action against the teacher in school is important and helps prevent others from being sexually abused. Such actions force schools and governments to take action to protect children and to stop more of these assaults from occurring. The students that we teach are vulnerable, and keeping them safe and protected is our concern as teachers. It is important to be aware of the chance of these things happening within our schools. Such sexual abuse can have devastating effects on a student's academic performance and can even disrupt their mental stability for the rest of their lives. The two cases that relate to our course due to the fact that the court made decisions to find both teachers in question guilty of professional misconduct. During many discussions over the course of the past 9 weeks, our classes discussed findings and made judgments about the cases we looked at based on information given to the courts. I think that actually being in the courtroom would be very different after hearing the teacher's side of the story. Nevertheless, most cases we looked at ended in a reprimand given to the teacher ranging from suspension or rehabilitative coursework to revoking licenses. The first case I chose to look at was between the Ontario College of Teachers and a female teacher by the name of Heather Elizabeth Earle. Earle is guilty of professional misconduct due to the fact that she failed to maintain the standards of the teaching profession due to the fact that she abused her student physically, sexually, verbally, psychologically, and emotionally, contrary to 437/97 subsection 1(7). And she also engaged in sexual abuse of a student defined in section 1 of the Education Act. She also failed to comply with the Education Act as well as the Ontario College of Teachers Act in that she committed acts that, having regard to the circumstances, would reasonably be regarded as by other members as disgraceful, dishonorable, and unprofessional, contrary to subsection 264(1) and subsections 1, 15, and 18. Finally, Earle engaged in conduct unbecoming of a member, contrary to subsection 119. The second case that I chose to look at was again between the Ontario College of Teachers and a male teacher, Zubair Ahmed Sheikh. Sheikh is guilty of professional misconduct as well. As per the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Constitutions Act, I believe that Sheikh acted contrary to the equality right, 15(1), that every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to the equal protection and equal benefit of the law without being discriminated against, and in particular without discrimination based on race, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, age, or mental or physical disability. The committee found that the members' comments towards a female student were disrespectful and objectifying, and they made the student feel so uncomfortable that eventually she left the school. Based on his conduct, Sheikh contravened subsections 1, 7, abusing a student verbally, 7.2, abusing a student psychologically and emotionally, 15, failing to comply with the Education Act or the regulations made under that act, and 18, an act or omission that, having regard to the circumstances, would reasonably be regarded by members as disgraceful, dishonorable, and unprofessional. And finally, 19, conduct unbecoming of a member of Regulation 437/97 of the Ontario College of Teachers Act. These cases are very similar and very different, and I found that both female and male teachers were given equal opportunity in the courts. The cases are different because there was physical abuse in the first and more verbal abuse in the second. Nevertheless, both teachers were faced with professional misconduct. These cases are very new, and therefore they both have yet to be reprimanded because they happened in this year. So I don't think that the final choices have been made as to what will happen in regards to suspension or revoking of the license.